Hi, YouTube. So, for the past few months or so, I have been dealing on and off with this mouse problem I have in my house. And it got to the point where I almost thought I would have to like evacuate my house and get an exterminator because these things have gotten like way too smart for their size. I'll tell you what happened. So, normally I don't wanna spend a lot of money to get rid of mice. I'll just go to the 99-cent store, buy some of those sticky pads, or I'll get the little traps you set for them, and they're only like a dollar, like little wooden things with the little spring and everything. And normally between the traps and the sticky pad, I usually can get rid of the mice, usually. So earlier this year, I did get rid of a few, and I thought, okay, that was it. I wouldn't have the problem no more. But then I started noticing again more mice in my house. So again, I went and I bought the cheap little sticky pads and the little traps. So what happened was I would look on the pad and I would see every morning, I would see just little hairs on there, but no mouse. So I thought, okay, somehow they're getting off of these pads. They're just like, I don't know, tippy-toeing around or somehow not getting stuck on them because I just saw little bits of hair and no mouse. I thought, well, maybe I had a rat. Maybe it was bigger than a little mouse. So then I set the little wooden traps with the spring and still nothing. I couldn't get this one. And then I started noticing there was this one particular mouse I had. It was really, really fat and kind of cute, and it looked kind of like this. It was very, very roly-poly and really cute, and I really felt bad that I had to get rid of this thing, but it got really, really smart, and this is what it would do. Instead of like a normal mouse, how normal mouses will just come out at night, this one only would go in the kitchen after I left the kitchen, and I started realizing what it was doing. Because you know how when you cook, sometimes you might drop a little grain of rice or a little bit of food on the floor, and it happens. Okay, when you cook a lot, it happens. And I cook almost all my meals here at home. So as I noticed I was kind of dropping food around, and every time I would leave the kitchen, I would notice, and it could be any time of the day. And I thought it was very, very unusual that I would see mice in the daytime. Usually you don't see them. Usually at night maybe you see them, but hardly ever. But this one particular fat, really pulley cute one, I'd always see it in the daytime, and it would always be right after I left the kitchen. I would see it running around the house. So I started realizing, okay, this thing is not going on the traps. And what it does is it goes into the kitchen as soon as I leave the kitchen because it goes and looks for food, any kind of little scraps of food I've dropped, when I make my food. So what I started doing before I leave, like I'd make my food, bring my food because I eat on the couch here on my couch, bring my food in here immediately before I even eat. Because see, if I didn't immediately go into the kitchen and clean up the floor, it would go in there and find any little tiny scrap it could. So I would immediately even if my food was going to get cold, I don't care. Just leave my food here, go back to the kitchen, sweep up, clean up everything, make sure there's not one little scrap left, and then I'd come back and eat. So I'd been doing this for a few days and still no mouse. Then it started getting even bolder. Then it would start coming over to the couch. I would leave just for a second to go to the bathroom, and I'd come out and I'd see the thing right here where I sit and I eat, looking for food. And I thought, that's it. I can't handle this no more. I don't care if it's so cute and fat. I have to get rid of this thing. It's getting way, way too aggressively bold in my space. I when I think of rats and mice, I think of things like bubonic plague and any little. And I don't know. I can't have them breeding, having a bunch of babies in my house, taking over. Getting on the couch where I sit. Getting in food. Next they'd be chewing. Next they'd be gnawing into my food. Bags, rice, grains, whatever. Next, they could be like my whole house could have been like infested with these things. So I thought, no more. I can't handle this. I'm gonna go for the big guns. I'm gonna get the most expensive stuff. So I don't like spending, like, again, like I said, I don't like spending a lot of money on this stuff because why spend a bunch of money on this stuff when you can just go get, the 99-cent things, whatever. But I went ahead and I went to the hardware store. I paid, like, I think it was, like, with tax, it was like $8 or $9 for these little trap thingies where there's like a little poison in there, and they go in the little hole, and they go and they eat the stuff, and then, they die. But so I put these things, it says it kills up to 12 of them. So I put all these little traps all around my house, inside my house, in little dark corners and stuff like that. I think there's like 5 of them. But was thinking, how is this fat little, cute little thing like this, roly poly mouse? It was a mouse, but it was fat, super fat. And I was thinking, how is this little fat thing going to get into this little tiny, like, hole like that? And I thought, there's no way, but whatever. Maybe it will squeeze in there somehow to get the food if it gets hungry enough. So I kept thinking about this. How am I going to get this fat little mouse? I can't get it. I've been trying to get it for weeks now, and it's too smart. I can't get it. But then this morning, I heard a snap. And yeah, it did. It got it. So, and I'm wondering, did I just waste like $8 for nothing? Buying all these little traps, but it's getting wintertime, so I figured, okay, I'll probably, because it's getting so cold out, I'll probably end up getting more mice in the house. They do like, they are house mice, and they do like to go in people's homes. So I'll just have to leave the traps indefinitely now. And yeah, I feel bad. It was cute, but what can you do? You can't let them just take over everything, because not good. Take care.